How can the words on a page, the sounds in the air, become thoughts in our minds? What is meaning? This is a question that has puzzled philosophers for centuries. Meaning has to do with the relationship between language and the world around us. Wittgenstein argued that meaning comes from language games. The rules of language are what give meaning to our words. Words are, at their core, symbols. They are like signs that we, as a community of speakers, have agreed to associate with certain ideas, objects, or feelings. There's no natural connection between the word tree and the tall, leafy plant it represents. It's only through a shared understanding, a common agreement among speakers, that the word tree conjures up the image of what it refers to in our minds. This symbolic nature of language is crucial for understanding both its power and its limitations. Language allows us to communicate about the world around us, to share our thoughts, ideas, and emotions. However, it's important to remember that language is a representation of reality, not reality itself. The map is not the territory, as the saying goes. Words can point us towards understanding, but they can never fully capture the vastness and complexity of the world we experience. Think of the word game. What comes to mind? A board game? A video game? A sporting event? The word game takes on different meanings depending on the context, the people involved, and the unspoken rules that govern its use. Wittgenstein used the idea of language games to illustrate this point. He argued that language isn't a single entity, but rather a collection of these language games, each with its own internal logic and rules. The meaning of a word isn't fixed but fluid, shifting according to the particular language game being played. Meaning isn't inherent in the word itself, but arises from its role in a particular language game. Language isn't just a tool for individual expression. It is the very fabric of our social world. It's through language that we build relationships, form communities, and navigate the complexities of human interaction. Our words carry weight, shaping perceptions, influencing opinions, and forging connections. The way we use language reflects our social identities, our group affiliations, and our understanding of social norms. Different social groups often develop their own linguistic styles, slang, and jargon, creating a sense of belonging and shared identity. Think of the language used by doctors, lawyers, or computer programmers. Each profession has its own specialized vocabulary, a linguistic shorthand that facilitates communication within the group but can be impenetrable to outsiders. Just as language reflects our social identities, it is also deeply intertwined with our cultural backgrounds. Language embodies the values, beliefs, and worldview of a particular culture, shaping how its speakers perceive and interpret the world around them. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, a controversial theory in linguistics, proposes that language doesn't just express our thoughts, but actually shapes our perception of reality. While the strongest versions of this hypothesis have been called into question, there's little doubt that language plays a significant role in shaping our cultural understanding. For instance, cultures with different color naming systems may actually perceive and categorize colors differently. Similarly, languages with grammatical genders may influence how speakers perceive and categorize inanimate objects, often ascribing gendered qualities to them. The relationship between language and thought is perhaps one of the most complex and debated topics in cognitive science. Do we think in words? Does language shape our thoughts? Or do our thoughts shape our language? Noam Chomsky, a renowned linguist and political activist, revolutionized the field of linguistics with his theory of universal grammar. He argued that humans have an innate capacity for language, a set of underlying grammatical structures hardwired into our brains. This innate linguistic faculty, Chomsky argues, is what allows us to acquire and use language with remarkable speed and flexibility. He also suggests that there's a deep connection between language and thought, that the structures of language may reflect the structures of our minds. While the exact nature of the relationship between language and thought remains an ongoing area of research, there's ample evidence to suggest that language can influence our cognitive processes. The words we use, the grammatical structures we employ, can shape our attention, our memory, and even our moral judgments. For example, studies have shown that speaking a second language can influence our decision-making, often leading to more rational and less emotionally driven choices. Similarly, the language we use to frame a problem can impact our ability to solve it. The way we talk about the world shapes the way we think about the world. By expanding our linguistic repertoires, by becoming more aware of the subtle ways language shapes our thoughts, we can cultivate greater cognitive flexibility and a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and the world around us. While language is a powerful tool for thought, it's important to remember that it's not the only tool we have. There are realms of experience, depths of understanding that words cannot reach. Music, art, dance, even silence can communicate in ways that language cannot. The ineffable qualities of intuition, emotion, and subjective experience often elude linguistic capture. We can gesture towards these realms with words, but we can never fully encapsulate them. Recognizing the limits of language is not a defeat, but a liberation. It allows us to appreciate the richness and complexity of human experience in all its forms, to embrace the mystery and wonder that lie beyond the linguistic horizon. Language, meaning, thought, culture, and social interaction, these are the threads from which the tapestry of human experience is woven. It is a tool for communication, a mirror reflecting our inner worlds, and a lens through which we interpret the world around us. Understanding the nature of meaning, the complexities of language games, and the profound influence of language on thought is essential for navigating the subtleties of human communication and appreciating the richness of human experience. As we continue to explore the mysteries of language, we delve deeper into the mysteries of ourselves, unraveling the intricate connections between the words we speak and the worlds we create.